Okay, so now I have water in my water brush. My water brush is like the cheapest of the cheapo water brushes, not even kidding. I'm just going to squeeze some water out and get it started. I am definitely going to be buying some Pentel water brushes. They seem to have some nicer ones that actually have a little bit of a valve in them that regulates the water flow better. This just has like a little cap with a pinhole inside of it that only allows you to squeeze out so much water at a time. It's not very good, so, but you know, they were my first water brushes. They haven't broken, so I just keep using them and not really worrying about the quality of it. So this will have to dry so that it doesn't move when I touch it, because that would be bad. So I'm going to give this a quick hit with the heat gun just to get it dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed my Montana markers out, and I think I'm going to use the pink and the turquoise, at least to start with, to do a little bit of lettering for my title. It's going to be pretty basic, and you'll notice that I've kind of stopped at a stage where I wouldn't call this finished if it was an art journal page, and I might do some additional things to it later. Actually, I might do some additional things to it now because I just had this awesome thought to drip some paint from my high flows in like teal and fluorescent pink. Oh my gosh, sometimes I have the best ideas. Let's get these shook up. I think we're gonna do that for sure. So I just have some paper toweling here so that when I drip it will absorb. And I think I'm just going to, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Sorry, I know you can't see, but I need to get this vertical. Just give it a little bit of a thump. Don't want to bang it too much more because of all of these ones that are getting close to that edge. I don't want them to reach the edge. So what I'm going to do instead is, if I can find it, grab my little bulb blower. This I got, and this way I can kind of direct this paint down in. Ooh, that makes kind of fun stuff too, doesn't it? Okay. It is, what is it for? Oh, it's for like your computer keyboard, blowing it out. Instead of buying like compressed air, canned air, that's what it's for. I got it on Amazon. I think it's pretty cool. Who was I watching spray ink? I think it might have been Gina, and she was doing her Christmas ornaments with alcohol ink, and I will not only blow spit all over the page if I try this with a straw, but I will hyperventilate and pass out on my face, on the camera, on my journal. It would not be good. So yeah, so I bought one and I like it. It's nice to have. So I'm going to get this good and dry with the heat gun before I move on. And now I have to do a black title because now I have extra pink and teal on here, so doing the lettering and that isn't going to look so good. So let me get this dry, and then I'll be back to put on my title. Okay, so while I was drying this, I decided I wanted some of these bumps that are caused by the dripping because the paint gets a skin. I wanted those to go away, so I blotted it with a paper towel. And then I saw these kind of cool lines that it made. So I blotted it one way, then I turned the towel the other way and blotted it again so that I would get some of these crosshatch lines on here. So that's where the little messy comes from. And as I was drying and I was staring at it, I just got this thought in my head that it just wouldn't be my journal cover without my new favorite stamp on it, right? Which is my pot holder honeycomb stamp. It just, I love this thing. Like, with a serious, like, you know, I have a problem. I love it a lot, a really lot. So I'm going to throw some of this on here in a few places. I'm going to stamp it off a couple of times. Yeah, that's English. That's my English. I'm loading it and stamping it off on a paper towel before I'm coming in with it, because otherwise it would be so incredibly black. So I am trying to get a few lighter impressions as well. And I want to make sure that I don't go overboard, because I tend to go overboard with this thing because I just like it that much. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm stopping right there. I'm not allowing anymore. I love this thing. It's so awesome. It's so easy to use. It gives this, there's no edges to it, like unless you use the edge, but if you use the middle, you end up with an impression that has no edge. Do you hear my Halloween door? I moved from one place with Halloween doors to another. And I know I could oil it, but I don't. It's kind of like my alarm system. I know when somebody's coming or going because the doors make noise. Alright, that makes me insanely happy. I know it's silly, but that stamp, oh my gosh, that stamp just, I like it. I'm trying to decide now what I'm going to do. I'm thinking about pink words with a black outline. What do you think of that? I haven't used my pink Deco Art pen. Well, I always call it Deco Art. It's Deco Color. So I think I'm going to maybe try it out. I think it might be too light. I think it's, oh yeah, this is that one. Look, it's not the color that's the cap. It's like the salmon-y type pink that is not. Oh, and it's leaking everywhere. That is not the color of the cap. It's so disappointing. And this one's not as bright. See, I wanted that bright pink. Whatever shall I do? I guess I'll settle. I hate to settle. Maybe it should be turquoise. I love this cyan in the Montana markers. Oh, I just stuck my hand in paint. Oh well. Now the trick is to make sure that I leave enough room for all the letters, because I'm not sketching this out first. I should sketch this out first, but I don't want to. Okay, we're going to start here. So, Freedom Journal. I hope you guys, I know some of you are doing these now and not just watching, but you're actually working in your own Freedom Journal. I know I'm not doing any, like, you know, super fancy techniques here for you to copy or anything, but if there's something that you see done that you like, then hopefully you can apply that to your journal practice. And, oh, look at that, such a pretty color. I'm going to run out of room, you know that, right? Because I write big. Okay, should be interesting when it's all done. I left no hole for that E. Do you see that? None. Freehand lettering, it's the joys, which means I can't leave a hole for this one either. I hope you guys have decided to do this with me, have a Freedom Journal of your own. It's a lot of fun just doing whatever it is you feel like doing at the moment and not really caring what the outcome is. I think that is exceptionally good and healthy for you as an artist, to sometimes just play and have a good time and not really try not to care about what the outcome is. Oh, I got stuff stuck on here. So I did not leave myself enough room for these letters. Look at that, I have freed and that's it. Like, really? How am I going to make this work? I guess I'll have the skinniest O in the world, right? That is not going to work. Not at all. Let's see how badly this is going to wipe off. That badly. Okay. Okay, so what did I learn? I just learned that I write too big, right? And you learn that I often screw up and wipe things off. Sometimes not well. There's plenty of blue still on there, and all that means is that I have to change my tactic. What am I going to do instead of what I was doing, because that obviously wasn't working. Now it's all blue. I don't want blue letters. So I'm coming back in with this fluorescent pink. I wish I had it in a paint versus the high flow, but I'm going to see what I can do to make this work. So yeah, you guys see, normally you guys get to see my finished product, and I don't show you where I completely screw up and have to wipe off entire words. But, you know, for these videos you're going to get to see it all the craziness where I completely blow it, and hopefully with the paintbrush I can keep my letters just a little bit smaller. And hopefully this pink is going to be bright enough or opaque enough. I might need to do this in gesso. Look at that. I mean, it's cool, but you can definitely see through it. I don't know if I care. I'm going to outline them. Do I care? Do we care that it's transparent? Look, it's the ice cream man. We should get ice cream. We should not get ice cream. Ice cream's not good for us. Okay. Let's just see what happens here. So were we talking about anything important whenever I realized that I completely screwed up my lettering? Were we? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know, I have zero recall of events sometimes. It's kind of frightening how much I can forget and how easily and quickly I can forget it. It's good for forgiving people because, you know, I can't remember what you did to make me mad at you. And so in that case it's kind of good, but I also, you know, can't remember important things like, you know, taking my children to the doctor and stuff. If it wasn't, I don't know how I would live without Siri. Like, seriously, Siri is my best friend in life now, because she tells me what I need to do and where I need to go every day, because I can't remember anything on my own. I put reminders in my phone for everything. Literally everything. To take medicine, to go shopping, to make phone calls, to pretty much like do whatever it is that needs done. And if it's not in there, like, there's a very good chance that I won't remember to do it. It's a good thing you don't have to like consciously be aware of breathing, because I would probably forget to do that too. Yep, just the way it is. And I don't have like a cool excuse, you know, for why I have no memory. I just don't. Like, I don't know. I got nothing. I have no good reason for being so absent-minded. My kids are used to me now. They remind me multiple times if I need to call the doctor or schedule an eye doctor appointment or something. They figured out that if I don't do it right when they tell me, I'm not going to remember to do it later if they don't come back and tell me again, hey, this needs done, you know. So at least, you know, they figured it out. They make sure that I get the stuff done for them. I don't know how I manage. It's got to be something to do with age, I'm assuming, because I functioned as a normal adult and a mom when my kids were not old enough to help me remember things, and I didn't have a cell phone, and I surely didn't have a cell phone with Siri on it. How did I remember things then? And now suddenly I can't remember, you know, anything. Like, it's just crazy. Crazy. I feel like I should work this word backwards just so that I make sure I get it right. Another little lettering trick for sure, if you know where you want your word to end and not how much space you need for it, you can definitely work backwards. There's no reason not to, unless you can't remember how to spell the words backwards, which, you know, that could be a problem for me too. So I've had somebody mention to me that they would like to hear more about the products that I use, especially because they were like new to art journaling or new to mixed media. And I do have a tendency to go, oh yeah, okay, I'm using this, and then I just move on. Like, I expect all of you to know what it is that I'm using and why I'm using that product. So I am going to try to do better about talking about the products that I'm using. So that being said, I have no memory and I don't remember things that I want to do. So I'm asking for your guys' help. So if there's a product that I use and you have a question about it, and I actually had somebody say, "Oh, stupid question," and then they ask their question, I want you to know I don't think there is a stupid question. Like, really, if you don't know, you don't know, and that's okay. And how are you going to find out if you don't ask somebody, right? So please don't feel like you have a stupid question. If you're like, "What's gesso?" That's okay. Ask what's gesso. I'll be happy to answer questions like that, you know, and that might sound like something that you think is basic and you should know it. And if you don't feel bad. Like, how did we all learn all this stuff, right? You have to find out about it, research it, or ask about it. And if you want to ask Google, that's fine, but sometimes it's just a whole lot easier to ask the artist who's using the product, right? Okay, so that's pretty dry. One of the things that I do want to mention to you about the high flows, if you're not familiar with them, is that they do take longer than traditional acrylics to dry. It's one of their properties. Hold on. Okay, loud. Shaking up my Montana marker. Montana markers, if you don't know what they are, they're fantastical markers. They come in different sizes. Like, I have these ones. I have a lot of these that are like the bullet tip. They call these the fine. They have the extra fine, which is like a writing tip. And then the other ones that I have are these broader tipped ones that I love to use on my paintings. I just splattered paint everywhere because apparently this one leaked into its cap and it's about to drip down my shirt. So let's catch that. Oh yeah, look, mess. Look at this mess. Ugh, I made a mess. Teach me to try and show you guys something. Holy cow, it's everywhere. Baby wipes to the rescue. Okay, that's not helpful, Claudia. See, these are the things I edit out of everything else that y'all are gonna just get to see. The crazy messes that I make everywhere. So anyways, they're just acrylic paint, a thinner acrylic paint, kind of like the high flows, in a marker, which is super cool, and they are refillable, which is nice. You can buy these little bottles of the refillable paint, or paint refills, so that you don't have to buy the whole pen again, and I think that's kind of a nice feature to them. So cute. That's fun. I like that. Okay, let me put this up. By put it up, I mean throw it on the floor in the corner. Isn't that what everybody means when they say put it up? So this is fun. This works for now. I might add some more stuff to it later. I'm sure there'll be something that happens to this cover in the future. But for now, I think this is totally just fine. You definitely don't want to be too precious with your journal covers if you're going to paint them or decorate them in any way prior to finishing your journal, because they're going to get messed up. I mean, it's just bound to happen. You are going to open your journal and you're going to drip paint and you're going to put your journal right into the paint. It's bound to happen that you're going to muck up your journal somehow, some way in the process of creating all of your journal pages. If you're having fun, you're going to make a mess, and that's just the fact of it. So don't be too precious with your journal cover. That's why I don't do a ton of like really super artistic-y type stuff. Is that a word? That's not even a word. But just, you know, keep it simple, keep it fun. Come back, doodle on it sometimes, you know, have some fun with it, and don't worry too much about it. I do recommend using permanent permanent stuff on your journal. I'm just writing the word coffee here because suddenly I decided I had to, like, write the word coffee. Because I just did, right? Now I want to write more words on it because I'm not done. Anyways, as I was saying, don't allow yourself to be too precious with your journal, and try to use as much permanent products as you can, permanent ink pens. This is a Feud ball pen. It's the Feud Ball 1.5. It's a nice heavy, thick, is that what they call it? Thick ballpoint pen. That's what it is. It's a ballpoint pen. And I love the way that it writes. So it's kind of nice. I'm just throwing some words on here now because after I wrote coffee, I just had to. Okay, so that's it. I'm done. I wrote a few words. I might add more words later as something fantastic comes into my head, but, for now, this is good. I did everything in a permanent, that Feud ball pen will cure to a permanent state, so I can heat set it a little bit and that'll help speed it along, but if I just leave it alone, it'll be fine. Probably overnight would be sufficient. As far as I know, I've never waited overnight to see if it was, when it was waterproof, but it does say waterproof on it. So that, makes me, or it says permanent anyways, yeah, water and fade proof, so I trust that. So everything that I use on my cover is permanent. I don't have to spray it with a fixative or worry about the fixative getting rubbed off or anything by anything. I don't know if that's even possible, but I just don't want to take any chances. Again, don't treat your journal cover too precious. That's kind of why mine tend to be like a hot mess, because then if I make a mess on them and a splotch of paint gets on them, it just adds to it instead of ruining something beautiful. If you want to do something beautiful, awesome. If you don't feel too precious about it, do it and then let whatever happens to it happens. If you do feel a little precious about it, maybe do something simple like just a collage background if you don't want to just stare at a blank, plain journal cover until you're done with it. You can do something simple, maybe do the background and then let whatever happens happen, and then paint your beautiful whatever on top of that. So this might only be like this until the journal's done, and then I might paint over it and do something that I think is gorgeous. For now, I'm not looking at a blank book. It makes me happy, so that's all that matters. This is our freedom journal. Remember, we are being free and just doing whatever. I only have a couple pages going in here, but I am so excited about spending this time with you guys and getting into just playing with my art supplies. I don't do that enough when I'm working, like just playing, because I have, a definitive goal in mind whenever I'm creating something for a class. So this is kind of a nice, really cool free time of like free play. Do you remember free play when you were like a little kid in elementary school? Free play was the best, right? So that's what this is. This is your grown-up version of free play, is your freedom journal. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll try to be on time next week. How do you think about it? How do you feel about that? I feel like that would be a really good idea. So thank you so much for your patience and for waiting for Saturday to see this video. I will try to be on time next week. Again, thanks for joining me in this journey, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up button if you like my videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys all again very soon. Bye for now.